What's really good? He who vibes, HWV, everybody's on right now.
What up, people, the people, my people, what it is, what it do, how are you? My wish is that everyone is healthy and hopeful. This is your ear to the streets, progress and enthusiasm central. The illest barbershop station in the nation. I am your host, E, Moneybags the Technician, aka Philadelphia Barber, aka Dragon Ball E. I am a master barber, lifestyle coach, researcher, and enthusiast. We are live. This is Barbershop Talk Radio. So we're gonna get out there and do some fishing, my brother.
I haven't fished since I left Miami.
Yo, Brother Hassan, let me ask you something. So I'm running it for the podcast. I'm doing some recording. You mind being on the podcast with me, man?
Yeah, I'll be on one podcast. What you doing?
We just talking, man, just kicking it. You know, it's about you, man.
About me.
It's about us, man. It's about what goes on in the barbershop.
What goes on the barber?
Barbershop Talk Radio.
Just act normal.
You know what I'm talking about?
Now you just made me nervous.
Yeah, man. So check it out. So the camera is not there.
Okay.
The microphone is not there.
Okay. Just that normal.
And the reason why, man, I decided to. Everybody has value first and foremost.
Right.
Everyone has value to me. But some people, sometimes it's better to listen than to speak.
Of course.
But some people, when they speak, I enjoy hearing them.
Well, you know, you got 2 ears, you got 1 mouth.
Yeah.
You know, that tell you right there how important it is to listen versus, you know, always talking.
Real.
Yeah.
Brother like yourself, every time we talk, I'm so glad I got to see my big bro today.
Yeah, likewise. Yeah. You know, we feed off each other's energy. You know, everybody, you know, learn. You know, you learn from the time you come in the world until you take your last breath. So, yeah. So what's been going on? I saw you was on vacation.
Yeah, man, I took my wife to Florida for her birthday, man. We try to get out there as much as we can. Florida's a dope place.
Yeah.
As close as to Puerto Rico as I'm gonna get.
Right.
Can't go to Puerto Rico as much as I wish I could. Well, I'm not gonna say can't.
Right.
I'm gonna start using words like I need to make a way to,
Right.
instead of I can't.
Right now, it's just not, how can I say, convenient right now.
Put it like that.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna say, I need to make a way to open my own barbershop. Have the barbershop that I envision in my mind. Instead of ignoring or avoiding putting it on paper because I don't want to see what it's gonna cost.
Gotcha.
I need to get better at planning.
So are you planning to do it here or there?
Here and there.
Okay.
Initially there, but I think that it'd be good to give it a test run here, of course.
Okay.
And just start with what I have or whatever Allah has planned. But I have to put it on paper because it's not what it's going to cost, and my intimidation with seeing that number based off this idea that I think I don't have it. And I need to put it on paper so that I can see what can I do today.
Right.
Huh?
Well, you know, what you do is get ideas from all of the barbershops around here that got a lot of clientele. And what you want to create something they don't have, you know, something unique.
You're talking the next level. You're not just talking about existing. You're talking about or existing. You're talking about or surviving. You're talking about striving. Like really bringing something profound to the scene, making it worth your while.
Exactly. You know, like everybody now is into like more holistic type of settings. So if you could do something like aroma therapy, if you have, say, a masseuse or someone in your shop, you know, someone to do nails. There's so many different things. You want to cater to your customers. And when you cater, you want to cater more than just a haircut. You want to offer other things. You know, because keep in mind, you're a barber, you're a therapist.
Word. Nah, that's real, my bro.
When I was in Miami, there was a barbershop there, and this guy, he had like those sort of things there. You know, he had, like I said, he had a masseuse, he had a nail tech. If I make no mistake, I think, you know, with the type of neighborhood it was in, I think he even had a guy that shined shoes.
Look at that.
You know, which is old school. You know, you don't find that.
Old school.
That's very old school.
I know brothers that say that that's what they used to do when they were kids, man, shine shoes.
Yeah, I can remember going to the barbershop with my grandfather, and there was a guy there at the shop that shined people's shoes.
Well, now you remember that kid who came in with that spray the other day?
The who?
The kid who came with that spray for the shoe cleaning?
I wasn't here, I don't think.
How you work?
Yeah, what's up?
You saw? Well, because he would come in and he had the stuff to clean, like Jordans and
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Oh, yeah, the spray.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I watch his, I think he's in a mall using his stuff.
Right.
Like cleaning shoes. Like,
He needs to be in the barbershop with us.
Right.
right. Like, yo, this is Jill in the barbershop. You should.
You know what I'm saying? You know, you have, you know, like back in the day, people actually had shoes that needed polish. Now it's a different time, so you need someone to clean your J's.
Yeah.
So, you know, everybody wears sneakers, so you need a person that can clean sneakers in
But I
here.
think it would work on leather too, because I was interested in getting this stuff for my car.
Right. It will work on leather, but I'm just saying back then, you know, it was more like a polishing that people received.
No, I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
But just see your shoe polish on the horse used to be.
Yeah, because even now they even have the stuff where you could clean like ball caps. You know, that's another thing that you could possibly incorporate into a barbershop. Yeah, the main thing is just being unique, offering something no one else offers.
You guys just walking in? What thing in the cut?
What's up, my man?
I'll get the guy with the lunch. He put the cook.
Yeah, I see you practicing your capoeira.
Yes, sir, my brother.
Sir.
Yes, sir. Just man, it's one of those things where it's so valuable to me that I need to put more time into it for a couple of different reasons. One of them is how it makes me feel, man. It just makes me feel amazing because how I give thanks to Allah for my body and my health is by using my body and my health. So when I do something like that, I say Bismillah and I do some capoeira, I do some jiu-jitsu. Man, I just really feel like, inshallah, Allah accept it as a form of ibadah, but also I feel amazing, like I'm saying thank you, man, with my body and my movements.
You know, your body has rights over you. So if you are treating your body right, you know, that's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala requires us as believers, you know, to take care of our bodies.
Yeah.
And part of it is through exercise and, you know, meditation.
Wow.
Yeah.
A lot of these things aren't emphasized. A lot of these things took a back seat. And I think it takes, you know, it's just the conversations are so worth it, man. But they have to be in the right setting with brothers that really want to learn, really want to inquire, really want to take themselves to the next level. You know what I'm talking about? Because the religious part, it's funny. I was listening to Imam Rashad, right? He said something profound. Like we hear it all the time, but when I look at it, it's a whole different way after this lesson. He said that, the Prophet said that Islam is built upon 5. Right?
Pillows.
Pillars.
Right, the pillars.
I had not looked at this part though. He said the pillars are not the building. The pillars are not Islam. Your life is Islam. And it's built upon these 5 pillars.
Right.
I mean, that might seem like, duh, you just realizing that, Sadiq? But it just hit me like amazing. Because when you think of things like Sufism, which really comes from Tasawwuf, which is really an internal, what Christians might call, oh, it's not about religion, it's about relationship.
Right.
Oh, no, it's not about religion, it's about spirituality. Well, that's part of Islam. Because the inner dimension and the outer dimension have to be one. Yeah, there's things I do, but those things are trying to refine me from within so I can prepare myself to receive understanding.
That's like the physical and the, what you say, the mental or whatever, I guess you would say, like.
The seen and the unseen.
Yeah, coexistence.
The shahada and the ghaib. Because the shahada is not only, so you know why shahada is called shahada? I just learned this. Shahada means pretty much seen. You're making it witness. In other words, you're making everybody, okay, yeah, you're a Muslim in your heart. When you say it with your lips, not everybody's a witness to it.
Right.
That's the same thing with the ghaib. The ghaib is the unseen, but the shahada is what we couldn't see. It's part of the manifested world, the world that we can see. I love this kind of stuff, bro.
Like this house history.
Yeah, I'm gonna get you some
Towel or something. Yeah, I went by the gym earlier.
What you doing there?
Got my run in. I ran 2.5 and walked half an hour.
SIC, which stands for Social Impact Content. So we're opening up a campus facility in Yonkers.
It could have been some paper towels or something.
15 stages, 1 million square feet of production space, and we're providing a lot of opportunities for the youth in the community. Beyond education
Could have been paper towels. It didn't matter.
It's all good, man. This is your own personal joint.
So we have organizations
Rather than go get some more joints, man, we'll just use this one.
All right.
You want to hold it up under there?
Yeah, I'll hold it. Thank you. Yeah. Helping me. I got this sweatshirt on.
Man, you know what's so crazy about things like HIIT, like high intensity interval training, is that you'll burn calories for I don't know how many hours after your workout.
True.
You keep on burning because of the type of workout, what you did to your heart and your metabolism.
Plus, after that, I done some resistance training afterwards. I always do cardio before the resistance.
Okay.
Yeah, I see some people do it the opposite. People do the resistance or weight training, and then they'll go before they leave the gym and do cardio.
Right.
I was always told, to speed your heart rate up first before you work out, as far as using any type of resistance exercise. It'll help you burn better.
Well, I was going to ask you, is there any science behind why you do it that way?
Yeah, that is a science to get the heart rate up.
Yeah. Because I've heard, it's so funny because as we continue to learn, it makes more sense of what we know already. And then it makes things more and more clear. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like one of the things, I think it's all about language too and wording. And they might have to do with each other, but just the little intricacies and the details, they make things make even more sense. You know what I'm talking about?
Absolutely.
So it's like one of the things is you said heighten your heart rate, and I guess that will heat your body up.
Of course.
And so that's one of the things that I learned, that it's very important to warm. Even if you don't make your heart rate all up, you by getting it up just a little, you're warming up your body, and you'll get more out of your workout. And people don't go with a warm up. And I mean, hitting a couple sets on the bench, a couple light sets, it's okay. I think it's better to do a thing where you get your whole body nice and warm, joints nice and chill, especially if you're gonna go heavy.
Yeah. I never go heavy. I do light. I just do a lot of reps.
Okay.
Yeah. I remember years ago, a friend of mine, he had a yoga studio at his house, and the type of yoga he would do was the heat. He would turn the heat up in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bikram.
Oh, what now?
Bikram yoga. Bikram.
Yeah. So that's what it's called. I know he went to
Hot
India.
yoga.
Yeah, he went to India to learn this.
Yeah, that's dope. Is he still around?
I don't know. I lost contact with him when I left that state. This been like over 20 years ago.
You said it was what state?
In Alabama. Yeah, this guy, we were Wing Chun students.
Okay.
And along, with the Wing Chun, he also, he taught yoga.
So you've been a martial artist for some time.
Oh yeah.
How long about?
Started out in the backyard when I was probably like 8 or 9 years old. Like the soldiers that returned from Vietnam.
Yeah.
Those were my first teachers.
Word. So was Bruce Lee famous around this time too?
Of course.
It was around that time, right?
Yeah.
Everybody was kung fu fighting. It was that era?
That era. Yeah,
Word.
That's the 70s, yeah. So, at that time, you had like Sonny Shiba. You even had, what was this guy named? Scott something, but he was African-American kung fu person that you would see on the screen. I can't think of his last name, but he was also one of those people that was an influence on us.
Did they have the kung fu theaters the way they had like in New York and Philly?
Of course.
Dope.
Yeah, you have, where you can go in, and watch the movies, all day or however. Have the martial arts theater.
So Saturday cartoons and kung fu theaters, and kung fu even in the house, kung fu.
Of course.
It was like a universal thing.
What was it called? Black Belt Theater. They used to come on, I think in the afternoons or something like that.
Black Belt Theater.
Yeah.
See, I was a little young, but I was one step behind Black Belt Theater.
Mm-hmm.
But I love it, man. I love it. I love it, man.
But yeah, you know, everybody was into it during that time. You know, I can't tell you what brought about that interest on people.
I think it was dope. I think when we had all the I mean, it just is what it is, man. I'm about to stop myself, but there ain't no reason to stop myself. I'm not upset or anything. I mean, it's just part of the reality from where I come from, man. I think that we received so many superheroes that didn't look like us, that I think it gave us the opportunity to feel like a superhero.
Great analysis. Well, you know, up top, you know, that was king, man. You know, everybody was into it.
You know, it's crazy. It's like knowledge itself and martial arts went together. Like everybody that I know that was a martial artist from the hood, all my old heads, they was always teaching lessons. 5% lessons, Nation of Islam lessons, Hebrew Israelites, the Moors. The martial art brothers always was deep brothers. Even Muslims, just straight up Sunni Muslims.
Right.
Old heads. You got the time.
Yeah. You gotta understand, during that era, you know, there was a lot of movements going on.
Yeah.
And a lot of those movements, you know, you had to have your individuals that was able to defend the members of that movement at that time. So that's where your martial arts and, you know, other different, you know, ways of defending ourselves, you know, came into play. You know, many of us at that time was in, you know, the FOI, you know, with the NOI and all of that. You know, and then that was part of the regimen, you know, the training in martial arts. And just really just taking care of your body all together, you know what I mean? Exercise and all of that.
That's real.
Calisthenics. Yeah.
It's amazing, man. When I was a little boy, right? Man, I wanted to break dance so bad, yo. Older cousins used to break dance, man. I used to watch Beat Street, Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Man, I wanted to break dance so bad, but it was like an era in front of me, right?
Right.
Man, by the time I was allowed off the steps, man, by the time I was allowed to take the long way home, man, brothers already was selling crack, man.
Yeah, but you know that what you do in capoeira and you know, other, you know, martial arts, that's where those moves of breakdancing came from.
I was gonna say.
Because, you know, you look like top rocking, for instance. You know, it's the same thing in the capoeira. Well, it's the same thing, it's top rocking.
You know what I mean? We see the similarity, but it's amazing when you hear the stories of like mestres of capoeira going to give demos in New York in the schools. Because even now, like demos is a big thing in the capoeira. We might do something at the rec center, something at the festival. So it's not far-fetched that when I hear these stories of mestres coming to New York and different things back in the 70s, giving demos of capoeira. Because when you analyze breakdancing, the beginning of breakdancing was really popping and locking. And when they started to see the capoeira demo, they started to say, man, we can add that to the popping and locking. And it started to become more acrobatical and more.
Yeah.
This is dope history, bro.
It is, very much. But it all started on the continent, you know, right?
Yeah. You know what's so interesting about that, man, is when you really do the math to what actually entails the continent. When we talk about the original man being Asiatic, and you talk about Pangea, which original name is Asia, because Asia just meant landmass.
Right.
So now you talk about tectonic plates, and you talk about the conquistadors and them coming here and finding original people here, you got to ask yourself, what is really the continent? Because original people were all over the planet already. The whole planet is the continent.
When you think about continent, you think about consciousness.
It's crazy. Yeah. When I think of the earth, just like the brain has a right and left hemisphere, I look at the planet like a right and left hemisphere. Because the right brain is more spiritual and subtle and art-based, where the left brain is more logical and masculine and control-based. So when you look at the world, the Eastern religions are more like meditation and art, and a picture is worth 1,000 words, and all these right brain type of concepts, where the Western world is more like a police state or a control place. Isn't that something? And the Middle East seems to be like the pineal gland of the planet.
Right.
Isn't that interesting? The Kaaba in Mecca is swirling. The people going around the Kaaba.
Right.
If you was to go directly all the way, zoom straight up, the Milky Way is doing the same thing. Did you know that?
Right. And the Earth also, how the seasons come about. It's just, what is it? The rotation of the Earth or something of that nature.
It's amazing, bro. It's amazing that people never cease going around the Kaaba, and right above it, in the Milky Way, stars never cease going around the Milky Way. And they also say it's like a vacuum, that place, whereas though when you hit your head on the facing Mecca,
right,
all the negative energy from your body goes into the earth towards Mecca, and it shoots out from the earth. I think they have shown things where if you look at the earth from a certain ray, a certain instrument, you could see gray energy like leaving from Mecca, from the Kaaba. You could see the negative energy leaving the earth.
Oh wow. Well, anytime, when you make sujood, that's the same thing. That energy, it leaves the body.
That's what I'm talking about, sujood.
Yeah.
You're grounding it.
Yeah, wherever you are, not just in Mecca.
No, I mean, we're facing Mecca, so we're sending it that way, and it's leaving that vacuum in Mecca.
Okay, I misunderstood you.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. So how was the weather while you was there in Florida?
It rained most of the time.
Really?
But we got a really nice day, like we wanted. We just wanted one.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to get out to the beach and all that and really do our thing.
Okay.
The rest of them days we spend it together, and it was just dope.
Yeah. If I had known ahead of time you were going to Central Florida, I would have told you some places to check out in Orlando.
I didn't go to Orlando. I went to the
Tampa,
Bay Area.
Right?
The Bay Area.
Right.
I went to Tampa to see my family, but where we went is like more like Clearwater.
Okay. Yeah. Tarpon Springs and all of that.
All that, St. Pete's.
Yeah, St. Pete's. Yeah, I know what that is. Yeah.
St. Pete's is real chill.
What'd you just do?
You know what I like a lot too though? Destin.
Destin is what, west, like near Pensacola or someplace like that?
I think it's right in that same area, the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah.
It's right with Panama City and all that, but Panama City is the turn up, and then Destin is like straight up family, bro.
Right.
And you can go to a hotel right off the beach, and you go on the beach, it's like you got the beach to yourself. It's so quiet and chill.
I think a lot of retirees go to that area.
Yeah. I ain't been to Miami yet though. I'm gonna go to Miami one day.
You wanna go to Miami? It's a good place to go visit.
Word.
Yeah. Say it's a good place to raise family.
No, it's a little bit more. It's a little bit more like a grown-up place to be, right?
It is.
It's more hedonism going on.
Oh yeah.
Pleasure based.
Oh yeah. Like Vegas.
Yeah. The brother was turned up earlier, right, man? I try not to. Sometimes we just need to, we just need a hug, or we need like people to listen. And sometimes we shut ourselves down. That's what's going on with Kanye, in my opinion. Yeah, he's been trying his best to not cause these reactions that his thoughts cause, so he suppressed himself, and to the point that he can't take it, and to the point that he doesn't have to really suppress himself, because even though they took him from the billionaire list and put him in the millionaire category in a matter of a couple of days, it's like this, bro. It don't matter if the building cost $400,000 or 2.5 million. Do you have 400,000? No. So millionaire, billionaire, meaning myself. Millionaire, billionaire don't matter. I think we're in a position where we really need to change things and stand up for each other. I heard somebody standing up for him when it comes to the Adidas too.
Right.
As far as, look, I feel you about the.
That's a young boy.
Yeah, that's dope. Elon Musk bought Twitter and unbanned him.
Really? That's love?
Much love.
Yeah, that's love. Yeah.
It seems to me like somebody knows something.
Of course. The whole thing, man. As long as you keep your mouth closed, we'll let you be whatever. You want freedom, and you want to be able to be your own person. It's an issue. We're gonna make you look ugly.
But we can be free. I was listening to something on the way here, right? And it's the first time I ever thought about this. I might have thought about it before, but it might have made me upset, so I didn't give it too much thought. I just moved on. But today it was something different than upset. It was real curiosity, okay? So, we have this word called anti-Semitism. My whole thing is, that's like super weird to me.
How can somebody of color be anti?
Not only that part, that's the interesting part, but my other part is, why don't we make it a big thing to be anti something else too? Like, why can't, all right, since there's an anti that, huh?
What does that word mean?
It means anti pretty much, I think, anti-Jewish people?
Well, like Hebrew, and the blacks are Hebrews. So when you say a black person is anti-Semitic, that's really, it's like, it's crazy.
See, but we talking about stuff of intellect though. Most people don't have intellect, so they don't even know what anti-Semitic means, a lot of people. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, anytime you speak against the Jewish, they consider that to be anti-Semitic.
Anti-Semitic.
Right.
But you could do anything to a so-called melanated person, a black person, a brown person, a Mexican person. I haven't heard no you being anti-Mexican.
Well, anti-Islam.
Or anti-Islam. Okay, I'll give it to them. They got Islamophobe.
Yeah, but
But come on.
Does it get the same hype that...
They don't get the same hype.
But crazy, Kanye wasn't talking about Jewish people in general. He was talking about us as a group. He was talking about the Pacific. And a lot of and it's like, if we turn around, we talk about, like, if I turn around and be like, well, you know what I mean, these Puerto Ricans over the head, you know what I'm saying? First of all, I ain't talking about every Puerto Rican. I'm just talking about these certain individuals over here.
Right.
What they doing. They made a big deal out of it. That's kind of messed up, though.
Well, so they saw opportunity to twist something, and they did. They twisted it, and the truth is, like, it's a political thing. When we talk about the Jews, most of the time the political stuff that goes on is the Zionists. It's not the Jews. The Orthodox Jews have little to do with this. What we call.
A lot of them don't even agree with it.
They don't agree with it.
Right.
What do you call them?
The Orthodox Jews, the ones that I say the ones.
The big churches in New York, like they run New York.
No, I'm talking about not those, but what?
The Zionists.
Yeah. What's that?
Zionists are the political people that are in Israel, and they are the ones that the military, like the Mossad and all of that type of thing, the ones that really, I would say, the oppressors.
Like the extremists.
The extremists, you could say that, right? But
I don't know. They may be extreme in their ideals, but more extreme in, extremist is a good way to put it.
Yeah, they're the ones that that
Well,
really.
but you've got that with a lot of different religions and
people in
radical,
general.
like, would that be another?
That's why I
People in
kind of
general.
said no, because I knew it was gonna go there. But this is a little bit different.
Well, you got to understand this. When you look at what goes on in Gaza, you don't have the Orthodox Jews out there that be putting down that type of thing. You got the Zionists, the ones that are, you would say, the military, the Mossad.
Where do they get the word Zionist from? Where does that come from?
Zion.
And what's that?
What is that? Okay, I can say that it was something that was hijacked, for one.
Hijacked is a good way to put it.
Yeah, it was hijacked.
Orthodox just means normal, basically, right?
Orthodox means like by the book.
Right.
It means, what you call it, practical.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I've heard definitely unorthodox, which is obviously unusual, like not.
I would say the Zionists are unorthodox.
Right.
Because part of being, in the faith is having a beard. The Zionists, they don't even have a beard. They clean cut.
So would you say it's more of a political than it is a religious thing?
Of course. That's what I started off with. I said it in the beginning. It was political.
So like the everyday, for the record, what we're saying is the everyday people that struggle like us, no matter what you identify as, are the everyday people that struggle like us.
Right. That's global.
Yeah. And believe it or not, whether they people of that or people of not of that group, they still affected by it. But people will argue that even though they don't know what's going on, they still benefit from the privilege of that. In other words, just like they say, whereas though some people, let's just use this for an example, no offense, Cass, but they would say stuff like, white people are the thing about white people. The thing about white people when they
Say what?
you would hear people say this. I'm being serious, and I'm being sensitive and serious. But this is one example. They would say the thing about white people is that when they with you, they'll be cool with you, but when they together, they're a little different, and don't let you be the minority in a group of them.
I think all people are that way.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're right.
When they're around their own.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about as far as being racist. Like, I'm how can I say? I'm the same no matter what. Like, white people know how I feel about them.
I think that
I
one thing.
believe that there's racism in everybody.
Yeah, but I think that a lot of what people.
What is racism? That's an interesting conversation. Because in my opinion, racism is this: I love my race. That don't mean I hate your race.
You know what people get mixed up? They get mixed up racism and
Prejudice.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would say most people are
Hit on the
prejudiced.
nose.
When you say racism, okay, when you walk into a courtroom and I'm able to rock your world based on your skin color, that's racism. You go into a bank to get a loan and I, don't approve you that loan based on your skin color. That's racism.
It will be illegal for you. You might be able to get a lawsuit. And we will be able to too, but most people don't know, and they won't have that type of balls to think. They'll just think it's normal.
Yeah, they have,
Whereas though you will feel like it's abnormal. You will feel like, how dare you? But one of us,
That's
not,
where
yeah,
ignorance comes
Well,
into
see,
play.
ignorance.
It's ignorance.
And ignorance is no excuse of the
Exactly.
law.
It's literally the reason they ask you. You know the reason they ask you your race for getting a loan
Why?
is so that they can like the people. I forget the exact words, but like there's basically
Like redlining.
Equal Credit Opportunity Act, I believe. So they actually require banks to ask your race and things so that they can monitor and make sure that certain races are not getting less loans and things like that.
We can say that, but that's not what is done. The truth be told, like the brother said, redlining. You know what I'm saying? Because how is it that I'm gonna say black. A black person can get a student loan, they can get a car loan, they can get a house loan without a problem. But if they want to go get a business loan, it's an issue.
Can I say something about that part?
Sure.
I used to think the same thing, but I found out this is actually the ignorant part, lack of knowledge. Because a lot of times the information that we can have, they don't tell us about it.
Of
You know what
course.
I'm saying? So they hide it from us.
Of course.
So, yeah, I mean, but one thing you said too, also I come to understand too, and this probably just jumping somewhere else. To tell you the truth, when it comes to the race, tell you the truth, white, like, don't take this the wrong way, and not saying nothing wrong, but the white race is actually decreasing. And pretty soon, before you know it, everyone is going to be of a mixed culture.
Right.
It's like going back to black. First,
Tell me not to take this the wrong way. I got a mixed baby.
you know what I mean?
Well,
It's just,
I thought you was Hispanic myself. Huh?
See, I get that too sometimes.
You know what I'm saying? So, it's like taking it, like, basically, the world is like every man turned into a man of color.
Damn, that might be why it says the last shall be first and the first shall be last.
Be careful with that.
I got you, my brother. I'm with you, man.
No, I'm talking about what you just said. Because who was first? Who was the first man? Adam.
The original man.
Okay, what was he? He was black, right?
That's what I'm
So
saying.
okay, if you saying first shall be last and last shall be first, so maybe that's the reason
I don't even
people
know.
of colors in the position they in as far as being last.
Well, I keep it 100 with you. I'm glad you came to that because that's bringing me back to Kanye. I was already defending him from the situation when he said this. A couple of things he say I can break down, and I think that that's important because it's bringing up these conversations for us to have them. That's probably the most important part.
Oh, I did have a
That
thought.
it's allowing us to have these conversations, right? But initially, when he said, and give me a second now, initially when he says something like this, I'm gonna use one example. This is a very important example, is what I'm getting at. He said slavery was a choice. People got all pissed off at him. What up, Levi? People got all pissed off at him.
You could have fought and got yourself killed, or you could have ran or
see that.
whatever. I guess
No,
that's
but I see, but that's the ignorant way of looking at it. That's the ignorant way of looking at it, right? That's how we all looked at it.
Right.
That's how a lot of people say, "What you mean?" Right? But
Right.
check it out. The first way I looked at it was like, no, this brother talking about something deeper, and it took me to the principles. the Hermetic principles. The first principle is the principle of mentalism. The all is mind, the universe is mental.
Right.
Because guess what? It's a trick to start us from slavery in our history, because you always starting as an underdog.
Right.
And there's people out there specifically to keep us angry about what we used to be, or we used to be great and all this. No, we didn't used to be great. We are great. Kanye was trying to tell us, yo, who are you today? Like, if you keep on starting from slavery, you always gonna be behind. But I might even be wrong about that, because it got a little bit more specific when I was reminded the other day. I was listening and Deuteronomy chapter 28 came to my head. Bro, when you get a chance, read Deuteronomy chapter 28. It gives the Hebrews, the original people, ultimatum, a choice to make. Read Deuteronomy chapter 28. He says, if you follow my law, statutes, and commandments, you'll be the head and not the tail.
Making their own gods, their own...
Not yet. He said, you'll be the head and not the tail. He specifically, I'm just talking about one thing, a choice. In the beginning of the chapter, he says, if you follow my law, statutes, and commandments, I'll make you the head and not the tail. I'll make your storehouses full. I'll make your generations blessed. On and on and on. The second part of the chapter, he says, if you deny to follow my law, statutes, and commandments, I'll make you the tail and not the head. I'll give you a land to another people. Your storehouses will be empty. Your children will be cursed.
Right.
Yo, that's deep.
That's what,
So now it was up to us to make the choice. And we made the choice to be arrogant and to be the original people and blah, blah, blah. Listen, if being black was enough, that's what I'm saying. If being black was enough, we'd have been free a long time ago.
Gotcha.
But the scripture says that if my people that are called by my name will just turn to me, I will turn to them.
Right.
Now I believe Allah is calling us back through Islam, the religion of our forefathers, Ibrahim alayhi salam, pure monotheism. But that's another conversation.
Right.
Because we looking for what we want God to do instead of sitting back and saying, God, what were you asking for us then? And what is Islam asking of us now? Right. And we may find something.
Good point. Very good point.
This is Barbershop Talk Radio.